Good morning, and it is indeed a good morning. I'm grateful to my son that we had a lovely Thanksgiving and we shared this magnificent bottle of wine that I've been keeping in my wine cooler for 30 some odd years. So I thought I'd come to you unfiltered, just like the wine. No more mellow, no more perfect. I'm not perfect. Like you, I have my habits. I have my foibles. I'm human. And I admit it proudly to be human. And I'm passionate. And I'm passionate about us and our democracy and having to carry the load for, I believe, 10 years. I was prescient in 2012. I said we need a third party. We need a third party, and we need it now. And we got to start organizing now, because the Republican Party and the Democratic Party, who over the years have switched sides and positions, are all under a corporate monopolistic spell. Doesn't do us any good, as they're making the cash and raking it in on the local, the state, and the federal level. What's happening to us? 780,000 have died from COVID. 100,000 more from opioid addiction. And meanwhile, we've got a bill before Congress that has a For the Families Act that gives us retraining, that gives us child care and education for children 3 to 4 years old. And we can do it on a national level where everyone gets the same message and the same education. And it gives us equality. Equality for everyone. That's why Abraham Lincoln set aside Thanksgiving for people. He said, okay, we're winning the war now. And at that point in time, Abraham Lincoln was a proud Republican. And he said, we're winning the war. And since we're winning the war, let's celebrate. Let's celebrate that our democracy still stands, that we're fighting for our liberties and equal quality for all. An equal quality of life. How simple that is. You know, the Biden plan is going to cost a lot of money. And you got to say, is it worth the risk, right? Everything is a risk reward. If you want to win and you want to make money, you certainly don't do it by putting your money in the mattress. You take a risk. If it was up to me, and I'm hoping one day it will be up to me, because I've been espousing a third party for over 10 years, then we can actually take an equity position in what we invest in. Because make no mistake, we still need the research and the development. When Biden went with Powell against Elizabeth Warren, that's upsetting to me, because when I met Peter Orszag many years ago, who was head of budget under Obama, and I asked him, how much capitalizations do banks need for them to be safe? And he fudged on that. But Alan Greenspan, who had learned his lesson, didn't fudge. And he said, they need 25% reserves. Jay Powell, is now making it so he's watering down what they need in cash reserves. And who do you think was prominent in the COP26 environmental conference that was recently held? The banks and the banking lobbies. And why? Because they support fossil fuels. Well, we know if you stay where you are, you know what you got, right? We don't need anyone to tell us that they're denying climate, and we should be denying it too. We've got fires in our backyard. We've got whole villages and counties and cities that don't have water. We're going to have floods. We're going to have mudslides. We got toxic pollution because we're human, right? And we allow plants to come too close to all of our children. And they contaminate our water. And there's no cap on the toxicity. And what else do we have? We have a failure at every level of every institution. We need fundamental change. And is anyone interested? No, they're not interested. We could curb the climate deniers. We could curb the social media lies and misinformation and conspiracy theories. We can curb what's happening on TV and in the news. And speaking of the news, I don't want to hear about all the murders that happen every single day. Who needs it? People across the country think that we're the murder capital of the world, when I know it's safe for me to go to a movie. And boy, what a pleasure it was yesterday to go to the movies with my son and see a Disney film. Sure, it's a little hokey, but the music is by Lin-Manuel Miranda, and it was wonderful and magical. Encanto. It's about magic. It's too bad they didn't do it in Spanish, because it was a celebration of the Spanish and Hispanic population. But it was more than that. It was a celebration of family and family values and being different and being accepted for who you are. And I thought, wow, that's really super. That's really powerful stuff. So I was pleased. My son gave it a 6. I thought that's pretty good if he gave it a 6. He's not into that kind of thing. We couldn't see Dune on IMAX, so I said, why don't we do this? And then we came to my place and we split this bottle of wine together and spent 6.5 wonderful hours together. And I am part conservative. Make no mistake about it. I believe in friends, family, religion, and work. I worked all my life. I don't know any other way. I'm still working. I've probably had 7 careers. I'd like to have an 8th. Of course, I can't say for sure what's going to happen next. Nobody can. And in 2 weeks, you guys know I'm going in for that surgery. And who knows what will be. You know, maybe they'll be auctioning off my bottles of wine. I don't know. But hey, I'm not worried about the future. I'm worried about the present. And by the way, the present, we can do better. We know what it's like to stay with the status quo. We're seeing it, right? The big reset in labor. It's global. It doesn't have to happen. No, sirree. Can we pay for the Biden plan? Well, we gave $1.5 trillion in tax cuts to corporations. We give out almost $1 trillion in subsidies to fossil fuels. We give another $28 billion to big agri and gentlemen farmers, of which most of the senators are. And Trump certainly is. He has a goat or two on his golf courses that qualify as farms. And where else do we have pork? Oh, all the loopholes in the tax codes that made companies go overseas to begin with. We're not fighting ideology, folks, so don't buy into that crap. It isn't so. Make no bones about it. We're fighting corporations who are putting the seeds of doubt into what's happening in our climate. But we can see it with our own eyes, right? We can't afford to go to 2 degrees Celsius, not even a little. We're not going to survive, nor will most of the fish and flowers and plants and vegetables and food that we require. It's almost a blessing that none of us want to reproduce right now. We need less people in this world because we need to give the land a chance to recover. And we need land to be able to produce food. So we're not coping with intense problems of lack of food, lack of goods, lack of power. I still think nuclear power is the way to go. And I also think the third party is the way to go. And if it were up to me, I'd be the head. No bones about it. Because I believe in life. I do not believe in squandering money either. But when I know there's so much low-picking fruit around, tax evasion in this country alone could provide all the money we need on a yearly basis. Forget the 10-year plan. So, hey, we've got a life to live. You decide, like I had to, since I'm human, whether I accept all of me as all of me, faults and all. And if I got to apologize and say, gee, I'm sorry because I really did do the wrong thing, well, you know what? I am sorry. And I am humble. And I am grateful. And I'm grateful for all my relationships with all the people who I love. And so, all I can say to you, if you've got in the habit of just pressing those levers, think again. Just stop. And really, it's like the Supremes when they said, stop in the name of love, right? We got to stop just doing things out of rote and habit and start thinking about who in our communities we want to start electing to local, state, and federal government and throw out the folks who are so beholden to the corporations that neither party votes in our self-interest. I'm a little hungover from last night, and I felt, hey, you might as well get me unfiltered. Better than me sleeping in bed until 12 o'clock this morning or this afternoon. I'd rather be here with you. So that's my message for today. It's unfiltered. I hope you enjoyed it. I intend to be more of myself in the future. And I may not be perfect, but my vision has a heart and has compassion. So God bless you and have a lovely weekend. Bye now. Take care.